Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of this three machines of the realistic STA 2270. This machine here is machine B, and its condition is off balance. It's louder on one side than the other. Also, none of these lights right here on the signal meter and the stereo light don't work. And things that I found so far, I already figured out the off balance condition. Start off, I had some theories that maybe it might be some power supply issues with some of the pre-drivers, and tested voltages of some of these transistors, different legs on them, compared to the other side, and also comparing it to machine A. And pretty much, I can't remember what one set was, this set right here, but the back set right here, on the outer legs I was getting negative 0.2 volts on, well, this one up here, which is the opposing channel, and then I also got it on the other machine on both channels. On the outside legs it was 2.0 negative volts ish. It might have been 1.7 to 2.4 or something like that. But anyways, this one right here was reading 8 volts negative, and 6 to 8 volts negative on those outer pins. So I changed that one out. This is a C1841, and I switched it out with, all I got C1840s. Very, very close, and the specs on it. Stuck it in there, and it got better. And so I started checking some of the things that around it, resistance wise, and in circuit you don't get the same readings what you do when you get this stuff out, but comparing it between the other channel and the other machine, this resistor seemed kind of funny, so I changed it out. And then this right here was reading funny, and so I get my light out, my little flashlight thing, and start looking at the number on the side, and it says 0.47 ohms. Well, these use 0.039 ohms. And so somebody else had worked on this and stuck this in there as the wrong one. Obviously it works just fine with it, but it had an effect on making it so it wasn't the same as the other channel. So it's very well possible that I never tried it, but you can probably swap these out if they're, but I would make sure both channels had the same one, so it's the same. But anyways, and another little situation, which this was on machine C, on the last video. I just forgot to mention it, but you see right here is a trace, and it was completely burning too. This one here, it was burnt and lifting off the board, but it wasn't broken too, so I kind of tinned it and made it so it was a little bit better. Let's see what we got. I got headphones plugged in, so I can get the power meters to work and it's not blasting loud. It's pretty nice and even now. As far as the signal meter lights, here's the board for it, and well, here's what a board looks like before you take the filters off of it. So that's what it looked like before I took those off. And they're surface mount LEDs, but they're naked. There is no casing on them like you see here. These over here is the signal strength. This one over here is the stereo light. Now I haven't been able to get the stereo light to work, but this is very hard to do. I kind of messed around a little bit with a surface mount, and this is actually a surface mount LED that's still attached to its PCB, and I tried getting them off the PCB, but that is not going to happen. They just delaminate and come apart. So I tried cutting it out, the whole PCB out of the. It came out of an LED light, and I just can't get anything to solder to it or anything like that. So I kludged a through-hole LED on there, and I'll show you that it works. Let's see. Get the FM. Now I'm having antenna problems. Let me see, the stereo light works. Yeah, so and then I'll change it to a station that doesn't come in. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. You see here they're just barely flashing together, so both sides are even. So I'm just going to leave it as just having a stereo light. At least it has that light. It's going to be way too difficult to try to get anything else kludged on there. Some of the terminals are just too close together to be able to do the spread out leg thing. Yeah, let's see what we get next on it. Alright, I cleaned up all these chrome buttons before I put this faceplate back on. Just kind of went around them a little bit, cleaned them up, get the fingerprints and stuff, and it builds up around the edges off. And I got the knobs kind of soaking in dishwashing liquid and things like that. And next up, we're gonna recap. I'm just recapping the amplifier / power supply board only. And here is the list of the caps. If you own one of these and you want to recap that board, here's the ones you need to order. Some of my caps here are higher in voltage. About a third of them are exact, and some of them are, I think this is Panasonic. We got Rubicons in here. All of them here is name brand, or name branded. I got generic caps, but generic caps have their use, so you got something that you just want to bring back to life for a little bit longer, but I wouldn't advise putting them in anything that's you want to be around for more than a few years. So anyway, there's a list. You can pause it, and if you want to write them down. But we'll get those guys in there. Alright, there's something I'd like to mention. You always oftentimes hear guys say that no matter, you can always put a bigger or a higher voltage cap as long as the same value as far as microfarads. And I've seen this already with a different machine. And this cap right here, you see, we're in correlation to where we are on here. This cap right here is a 22 microfarad, 25 volt. And this right here is the timing. Basically, it has to charge this cap. When you first turn the machine on, it charges that cap, and then when the cap is charged, this relay kicks in. If you change that cap and put too high a voltage in there, this might not kick in. I have, let's see, on the other machine, I didn't have a low enough of voltage, so I actually went with 10 microfarads with a higher voltage, and it had a decent, reasonable time delay, but it did kick in. I went ahead and tried this one with this one. It's 63 volt at 22 microfarad, and you can see here it just kicked in, so it's working just fine. But I believe it was 2600, the STA 2600. It wasn't happy with the 63 volt, but yeah, just thought I would bring that one up. Alright, so we got it recapped, and I'm trying to move some of these away from the heat. Get some of them here, get them away from the heat as much as it can, and see what next we got. Something's just annoying me, but this cord has paint all over it, and I got another cord. I think I might just put it on there. So we got some solder connections here. Let's see if we can get this guy out of there. Alright, so I don't have a special tool for this, but basically you just take a pair of pliers and you squeeze it as hard as you can and just pull on it and it comes right out. I don't really see why somebody would need a special tool, but it's not that hard to get out of there. Alright, got the new cord on there, and you can see right there's what it was tied before. So I had to crimp it again in a different spot and use pliers. I had no trouble at all getting it in there. It did mar it up a little bit. Maybe that tool wouldn't do that, but I don't know. Anyway, we don't have paint on the cord anymore, and it does still have, this cord has that antenna, you know, using your house as an antenna hookup. I've been thinking about like making a new YouTube channel with just this stuff on it, and I ought to call it Bill's Electronics Repair with only a voltmeter. Something I've been thinking about that's kind of interesting with this machine is that the power meters on the front, the right and left power meters, is independent from the rest of the machine. It's not tied into anywhere. Like right here you see, here's the board for the speaker switches, you know, A and B. So you have your right and left and ground coming in from your amplifier. This is your, you know, basically what ends up at your speakers. Going to this board, it goes through the switches, and then there's a couple of resistors down there for your headphone jack, like around 300 ohm, and then those power meters hook to this board, and part of the circuits that drives them, so light is not working out very good. You can see down in there, it's the circuits that drives it. And then the other wire going on here is, I think it's 13 volts going into it. So essentially, if you just took them power meters out of here and this switchboard, you just put, you know, through your, you know, output of an amplifier into here, and then this is the cord coming out. It goes to the back of the speaker terminals. So yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, this thing's pretty well independent. I just think that's pretty neat. Alright, so the only other thing I could think of maintenance-wise on this thing it really needs, other than like maybe blow it out with some air, it's kind of dusty in here, but I'll get the speaker protect relay out of here and clean it up. I've just gotten to the point to where I'm not putting stuff back together, especially if I can get this guy, I can take the lid off of it and clean it. I'll just do it, because it seems like, you know, want to fasten them all back up, and then that stupid thing has problems. Alright, we got that relay out. You can see the contacts right there. Basically what it does is, let's see if I can, oh, I'm trying to look through this camera. You can see here, yeah, there we go. Basically I just take the sandpaper and this is 400 grit sandpaper. Basically just run it through this way and flip it over and run it through this way a little bit, and pretty much I just squeeze whatever tension it has. Clean it up. Some guys just deox it to things, but I don't know. Basically what happens is they arc. Oftentimes people have their volume up a little bit on the receiver when they turn it on, and then it arcs because it's, you know, there's a load. I suggest you have your volume down on your receiver whenever you turn it on, and then reduces the amount of arcing, and then extends the life of needing to do anything with this. Alright, we got the speaker protect relay back in there, and put some deoxit, and these buttons right here for the speaker A and B, the bass control, and the volume knob. Volume knob is kind of funky once in a while. I had it on its side when I did deoxit, so that hopefully I didn't get the circuit board's too soaking wet. I really don't like the idea of that stuff getting on the boards. But this one down here is kind of hard to get it to go in because there's not really a hole to put it in. There's basically this top snaps on, and there's like little snap hole, like a little pinhole. And obviously it got in there really nice because it cleared right up. I mean, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was like, you know, so I should have showed you guys that. Anyway, that stereo light doesn't look bad from here, but it doesn't line up exactly right, but has one now, it didn't have before. Let's see how them buttons and knobs are doing as far as getting cleaned up. Here's the knobs and stuff after cleaning. It turned out pretty nice. They're like a sandblasted aluminum. See, at first glance you think they might be plastic, but they ain't. They got a plastic core. And then there's the faceplate. They look pretty good. Alright, got it all back together. And despite what it looks like in camera, those are not flickering. I'm way too dumb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I need that hype. Throw that to the side. You see the FM mute. And now I won't have static on stations that don't come in.
.com and enter card at checkout. $9.99 or go to yourfreebottle.com.
So stations that barely come in, you got to turn that off.
You can save up to 35% on appliances like the Samsung high efficiency.
We'll probably get rid of that funky noise by going to mono.
Capacity washing and steam drying. Save you time. And Spring Black Friday will save you over 500.
Features you don't have on new stuff. Yeah. Even cut low frequencies out. Got a high filter, MPX filter. Alright, well, now you can see our little stereo light when it does work. Yeah. Alright, well, that's about all I got for this one, and catch you guys later. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You gotta show the parts that you changed. Pile of parts changed. That was bad, this was bad, that was wrong, and of course this is just a routine maintenance stuff. Alright, catch you guys later.